Welcome to the SC Photography online classroom. This particular portion of the scphoto.com website is Moodle 2.5 served on the scphoto server. So if you're familiar with the new Moodle system, you'll jump right in with great ease. Before you can take a class or use any of the content, you need to create a user account. Up in the login section, click on Create a New Account, answer all of the questions that the server will ask of you, submit that. The server will then immediately send you an email. You'll need to confirm that email and send it back in order to activate your web account. Occasionally there's problems with Google and Yahoo Mail or Gmail. So if you don't get that right away, email us and we'll check into it for you. Then you return to the website and log in using that username. In this case, we're logging in with the username visitor, and if you use the word visitor for the password, you also will be able to log in and view the course content on an experimental basis. Now your screen looks basically the same now, except now it says you're logged in. Over on the right hand side is the content material. On the left hand side are various navigation boxes. The important one that you want to have is to log into the courses that you're going to want to take. Now the first time you go through, down on the bottom of the screen, it will show you all the courses that are available. To connect to one, you log into it. It will ask you to pay the fee on PayPal, or you may be logging in for a school, in which case you've been given an enrollment key that will automatically put you in your school's group. The visitor account has been pre-enrolled in the basic photography class, so let's click on that and see how it works. Now we're inside the class content. The breadcrumbs that are along the top here are the best way to navigate through the class. So it shows that we started out on the home page. We went into My Courses, selected from the photography offerings a class code Photo 11, and that's the page that we're on today. If we wanted to get back to our home page, we would be better off clicking this button. Along the top are some special links to take you to other content. This one will return you to the scphoto website. This one is for students that took classes during the last school year and are continuing to work on them, because the content for this year's classes has been completely redesigned. And these are some about questions that people have. So as we navigate through this, again, the right-hand side contains the course content. The left-hand side, these blocks have various navigation tools. The calendar shows us overall dates that are set by the site administrator for all of the classes. scphoto classes officially begin August 15th. If your school starts before or after that, it doesn't matter. In fact, you can take these classes at any time because they're all independent study. Material is available at the rate in which you take it on, not according to a schedule. There's no class-to-class or face-to-face meetings. You simply do the material at your own pace when you're able to do it. But the calendar shows you some important dates as far as content changes and so on. The navigation bar is pretty easy to understand. Most everybody clicks on the My Profile and likes to play with that section at some point. We do allow blogs on here. The blogs are intended to be about photography and not social media type things. So you're welcome to put one. In fact, some schools, the teacher asks students to write in the blog section answers to things that they've talked about in class to be shared. Messages then are a place for you to get messages from other students in your class. The first time you go through, you may want to click up here where it says contact and pre-enroll it or pre-fill it with the students that are in your particular class with you. Private files are a section where you are able to upload your own files to keep on the system. They can be your photographs that you're turning in for projects. It's a place where you can get to your things quite quickly. Now let's go back to my courses here. Once you're inside a class, you'll see the class activity over here on the right hand side. It shows you all the different chapters or sections as you're going through it. You need to start at the top one, the very first one, where it says click to view, and go through this one section at a time. The course is not intended or designed for you to be able to jump around, skip to different sections like you would in a magazine or a book, but you must start in the very beginning. As you go through, each section will show you a checklist over on the right hand side to show you your progress. You begin at the top with the first assignment, in this case the course syllabus. It explains the class material for you. When you finish that, the system will automatically check it off. So you can't skip it and check it yourself. You need to actually read the material. You move on to the second and the third and so on as you work your way down. When you complete something, if it's a dotted line, the server will mark it as being done. If it's a solid line and you've finished the material that's here, you can click it off. It's the dotted ones that you have to complete in order to get a certificate at the end of the class. Again, returning to the right side over here, we have some other administrative things in the blocks. The activities allowed you to skip ahead through material in the class and see things, but you can't actually do activities. It's like a general online table of contents. Let you see the things that you need to do. People allows you to connect with other students in the class to send messages. Again, these are not to be social messages. You can be dropped from the class for doing inappropriate contact with other students. This is intended for asking questions primarily of other students. What did you do with the project, or so on? Or would you like to get together and do some of these photographs for those of you that are in schools? Your teacher will outline how you can use this, if at all. And sometimes this window is blocked. The progress bar shows you your progress on the system that's set up for the class overall. It's designed on a semester basis to complete using about an hour to an hour and a half a day, 5 days a week. At the end of 6 weeks, you'd be about a third of the way through the class. The semester is generally 18 weeks in length. So this progress bar shows where you should be at the end of 6 weeks. The green shows you the things you've done. The blue are things that you need to be done. This is here just as an aid for you. Don't freak out over it if you haven't finished particular things. At some point, before you get to the end of the class, they'll all be green. The comments is new. We may or may not allow it to stay here. This is where we can make comments to all of the students in all of the schools, all of the teachers. So it's a public billboard. It's used for teachers primarily to make comments that all students in all schools need. And I may put comments here from time to time. Again, it's not a social media place, and we may just disconnect it later on. As you go through the class then, you move from one chapter to another. And again, it will show you the material that's coming up. So I haven't gone very far in this one, so I can see the material, but a good deal of it is grayed out, and I'm not actually able to access it. At any time, I can go back to the beginning by using my breadcrumbs up here at the top.